Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 8-Bit Adventures podcast. This is episode number 302, bringing you the latest and greatest gaming news of the past week. I am your host, Sean Hayes, and it was light news week. The lack of E3 is definitely being felt. Because wow, there was not a lot going on. So, yeah, a bunch of tabletop news this week, and a couple things. But yeah, it was real tough trying. And I don't know if it's like. It's going to be embarrassing if it turns out that like there was a whole bunch of news that just wasn't somehow reaching my news feeds. Like I use Google News to get headlines to talk about. Not great. It's not great. So if anyone knows of a decent news aggregator that's not Google News, that's like pretty customizable, that would be great. It's just like Google News really wants to prioritize like Gamesradar, Game Informer, and Kotaku, and almost never like Polygon, IGN. And like I have to go searching for those stories and hope that they come up. And I say this, of course, like most of the news items this week are from IGN, but that's just how it worked out. Most of the time, there's like a like stuff for you section, and it's all the same three for me. And it's like it would be nice if Google would actually rotate those out. And I don't know if it's just those three publications tend to just write more engagement bait headline type stuff that they just churn out. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, as gaming wise, I've just been playing Warcraft Mist of Pandaria Remix. That's a lot of fun. That's a fun mode. So for those who don't know, it's like 80 days long. There's like a countdown timer on the login screen. You make a character and it's on the same server as like your other characters. So I don't know if like it's going to kick them to retail when the season's over. I don't know. But yeah, they like revamp a bunch of, so like there's no professions aside from fishing. All of the quest rewards, it's like you just go back and you play through Mists of Pandaria. All of the quest rewards have been replaced with like little treasure chests that give you like set gear that they have drop. All the gear has gem slots. And like you can socket gems. Obviously you can socket gems into the gem slots, but like you get gems as other rewards. And you can combine lower tier gems to create higher tier gems. So you don't have to worry about enchants. You don't have to worry about, trying to find specific pieces of gear. Because they just all gear that drops just provides like a single stat. So really the only thing is like if you want to try and get a piece of gear that has the right itemization for you. But yeah, some gear will have tinker slots that give you different abilities and different passive effects. Some will have a meta socket that gives you a big class ability of another class. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, and it does wild things. Like you end up getting like way overstated. So you're just like steamrolling through things. So it's super fun. So yeah, that's just what I've been up to. But I say that I haven't spent that much time in it. Just I'm on paternity leave. I'm exhausted by 7:00 at night. So, which is also why there hasn't been like a Stardew Valley stream the past couple of weeks. I've just been so out of it that I have been falling asleep before the stream would start. So, we're gonna try and get back to doing that. And see if we can get a little bit back on track. So, speaking of which, how about we get into the news for this week? All right. So first up, Gamesradar reports that official mod support for Baldur's Gate 3 is coming in September. So, I just realized the artwork that I put in the thumbnail's reversed. That's weird. Anyway, sorry, just weird technical stuff. So yeah, it was previously announced that Baldur's Gate 3 would have official mod support. So it is coming in September. This is like Larian has basically taken notice. Mods are pretty popular for the game. They're all in. They think it's cool. So they are working towards putting like official modes of being able to accommodate mods. I think it has some limitations where like if you start changing scripts and stuff like that, like written scripts and everything, it's not going to be compatible. Like you may have to update some things, but I think for the most part, a lot of stuff, like especially if you're doing just cosmetic effects, will be fully compatible. So, yeah. And mods are how you extend the lifespan of a game well past its release date. I mean, obviously, like really good, like classic games, will have people coming back to them and replaying them. But like modding is how Skyrim still keeps in the public consciousness. So yeah, so official mod support for Baldur's Gate 3 coming in September. So if you are a mod creator, take note of that. Next up, probably for TTRPG folks, the biggest news of the week. So Demiplane, which is sort of like D&D Beyond. It's kind of in the similar vein of like housing rule sets and character building mechanisms and processes to help ease character creation and character archiving, I guess. Like a place to keep all of your characters, but for a broader spectrum of games than just Dungeons and Dragons. It announced that Roll20 has purchased it. So, and it's going to be fully integrated into Roll20, who does not have great methods for putting characters into it. It's very clunky. And like it requires all custom work. So this is a way for them to streamline that, which is great for Roll20. I'm personally a little sad to see this consolidation. And I'm myself personally not a huge fan of Roll20. I still have kind of a bad taste left over from kind of its earlier days when the CEO was a really terrible person. But yeah, for those who use the platform, this will be fantastic. I mean, Demiplane's great. They have, access to quite a few rule sets. So that'll be great for people who, especially who like saw the value in D&D Beyond and wished like other games had that. And that's basically what Demiplane has going for it. So yeah, Roll20 made a big announcement too. Just in touting like all the other resources that it has to combine with it, like drive-through RPG and things like that. So we'll have to see how this goes. I know, I think it's Chief Development Officer at Demiplane is Adam Bradford, who was one of the sort of founding folks at D&D Beyond. So we'll see. I mean, here's the thing. If this ends up being good for Demiplane, it could provide some competition, which is for D&D Beyond, which is great for D&D fans. My concern is just with how consolidation has gone with game studios and development studios. Hasn't been the greatest track record over the past few years. So that is that. Next up, IGN and Dexerto, I don't know how to pronounce that site, received exclusive reveals for the upcoming Monster Manual covers. I believe last week I talked about the dungeon or the DM's guide covers. So we got the Monster Manual this week. The standard cover features Minsc, Boo, and the current Blackstaff, all sort of fighting a slew of monsters below with like a big, scary-looking beholder behind them. Well, the alt cover, which for people who are watching live or watching the VOD, I have featured here, is some really nice artwork. So I think it's really nice artwork. I've seen a couple sort of engagement bait websites. Yeah, I'm going to call them out on that. Wargamer. That basically call it like really shoddy artwork. They don't think it fits. They don't think this mind flayer is menacing. It's the Emperor. And it called out of like, oh, they just want to capitalize on Baldur's Gate 3, but like at the same time not realizing that it is explicitly meant to be the Emperor from Baldur's Gate 3, offering a tadpole, which I think is great. The game was a smash success. Capitalize it more, and that's what they're doing with their covers. Is they're taking existing properties that were pretty popular with Dungeons and Dragons and capitalizing on them. So that's why like the DMG has Venger, the from the cartoon. The Monster Manual is Minsc and Boo. The alt cover has the Emperor. The player's handbook, I think, is a little unusual in that like it's using a set of like new characters, but it sounds like they're gonna try and develop them further. But yeah, and honestly, it's Wizards, man, you're killing me here. Like, I was like, oh, standard cover, Scott Minsc and Boo. There we go. That's my favorite. And then they had to release this one, which I really like the art style. Like the art style meshes with my sensibilities really well. I think it's got great color and tone. And it has sort of like a gilded edge designs on it that I think are a nice contrast. So the overall palette's like very muted and like blue and purple, which I think works well. I think it gives a little sense of dread going in there. And really makes when they have like the lighter pink parts of the Mind Flayer's outfit stand out. And it also contrasts nicely with this gilded design that they have. So yeah, it's my favorite of the bunch of covers that have been released for the upcoming core rule books. So, yeah. I did not expect them to like go back to Baldur's Gate 3 and do like stuff from that. But that's pretty cool. Also, I think the Emperor is terrible, so I think this is a perfect fit for the monster manual. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. Yeah. Also, I will touch on briefly. It's not in the show notes or in the news. Just for those who are keeping score, Wizards does have like an AI engineer job position opening. A statement from Wizards of the Coast has said that it is for video games and not for tabletop. But yeah, no one really knows what it means. Looks like it's for somebody to help develop internal tools that may or may not utilize AI for things like NPC reactions and things like that. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I need more information to form a bigger opinion about it. I am very wary of it. Cuz like with video games, AI can mean different things. And it sounds like the job posting incorporates the multiple meanings of what people think of when they think of AI. Like, because it looks like it's developing tools for generative AI, but also potentially like behavioral patterns of characters in video games. And typically, like, you don't usually mean both when you're referring to AI. So I don't know. I also, given the track record of video games, like I also don't know how they're bringing that in-house under Wizards. So I don't know. So, we'll be keeping an eye on it, just to see. So next up, Monster Hunter Wilds got a new trailer that showed off a couple new monsters. But IGN has also confirmed that it will have cross-play, but not cross-progression. So this means that if you're playing on PS5, you can play with your friends on Steam. But, if you buy it both on PS5 and Steam, your save files will remain locked to those devices. Like, you won't be able to transfer your save files between platforms. But, yeah, pretty exciting. I'm not... Like, they showed off the two new monsters. One of them looks like a weird bear boar kind of thing, and the other one, I guess for lack of a better, looks almost like a Slod from D&D. It's just like a big like the body shape is like a large gorilla, but it's like sort of amphibian and sort of crocodilian. So yeah, I'm interested to see how that one goes. And I don't know if it was a joke, but apparently in that same IGN article, I guess everybody like the overwhelmingly positive reaction to the blacksmith character got the game tagged with a dating sim tag on Steam. I haven't verified that. But I'm curious to see if that's accurate, or if that was just a joke in the article. But yeah. So it's Monster Hunter. Looks like it iterates on the same formula, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be the same one. I did read something that apparently they're going to have 2 weapon slots. I have not verified that. So that would be interesting. I don't know how that works, because, like between ranged weaponry and melee weaponry, you often need different armor sets too. So unless they're going to make armor sets work so that your skills flip over, I don't know. I just, like, it was often the case in previous games where like bow guns would have like a very specific armor set. Bows would have a different armor set that you would need. And like individual melee weapons might require different skills. There's not like a universally good. There's typically not a universally good armor set for everything. Is you need to kind of custom tailor the stuff. So, but yeah, so Monster Hunter Wild's coming to Steam, PS5, Xbox. This is sort of a continuation of Monster Hunter World, as opposed to Rise. So, I don't know if there will be a continuation of Rise that comes out later, or a similar type game that comes out later, that will include Switch, or possibly the Switch's successor. Don't know. So, but yeah, so that trailer is up right now. That trailer, it was the one that was revealed during Sony's State of Play. So if you already saw that one, it's not a new. There isn't a new trailer from that. It's just the same one. So, and finally, our last bit of news. IGN reports Octopath Traveler 1 and 2 got shadowdropped onto PlayStation and GamePass. So, I believe it was Octopath Traveler 1 was missing from PlayStation, and Game Pass, I believe, either didn't have either or didn't have 2. They're both available now on those platforms. They are fantastic games. I encourage everyone to go play them. Especially if you're, a big JRPG fan. It's absolutely like a in the style of classic Final Fantasy, sort of complex battle mechanics and job system, using ability points to unlock new skills, or job points. I don't remember which one. It does the same. It's all just points to unlock skills. But yeah, so those are available now. So I believe they are now both on all platforms, because they're definitely both on Switch and Steam. And I think it was just PlayStation and Xbox had weird stuff where they were missing one or the other. So, all right, folks, that is going to wrap it up for this week. I told you there was not a lot of news to go through. So just a bit of a short episode today, but that's okay. So we will be back next week with more gaming news. So thank you all for listening. If you would like to get more content from 8-Bit Adventures, you can check out our website, 8-bitadventures.com. If you would like to help support that content, you can become a patron over at patreon.com/8bitadventures. Patrons can become, you can become a patron and get benefits for as little as $1 a month, which I hear Twitch subscriptions are going up, so that becomes a little more economical to get benefits. And finally, our opening theme is One Up by Professor Shy Guy. You can find his stuff over at professorshyguy.bandcamp.com. With that, we're going to close out our episode for this week. So once again, thank you all for joining me. And as always, have fun, happy gaming, and enjoy your pie cake.